Good day, my name is Meyer and thank you for joining my presentation. My task for this slideshow was to incorporate a social pedagogical concept together with a yearbook activity in a student as well as a teacher-centered CAPS-based lesson. So let's begin. Firstly, I want to start off by just recapping on characteristics of a teacher-centered approach. I know we have touched on this before, but just a quick reminder, this is when the teacher is in complete control. Students are viewed as empty vessels. It's very much old method of learning. Not a lot of student engagement is encouraged. Then this is a picture, if I am sure the lecture has made you think, the children are making comments like, what a bore, they have no idea what is going on. I need to wee, I'm asleep. So it's very difficult for children to learn when, their sole purpose is just to take in this information, and it can be very boring for a child, and it can be very difficult, and engaging would make the world of difference. And then it is important to look at the pros that come with teacher-centered method teaching. When a teacher is in control, when it is teacher-centered, the classroom remains orderly. There must be some sense of, I am the boss here, and we are going to work together. Okay. And to make sure that students are quiet, because you do need to have a good environment for teachers, for children to learn. And, students have to learn on their own as well. And that is, they learn independency, and like they know how to make their own decisions. So if you just do group work, they might start to rely on other, classmates to do more of the work and make more of the decisions than they would themselves. Now, let's look at how I did incorporate a social pedagogical concept together with a yearbook activity in a teacher-centered CAPS-based lesson, a mouthful. The lesson that I took is Senior Phase Dramatic Arts, Grade 10's Term 1, Introduction to Dramatic Arts. It's a 45-minute period. The lesson topic is vocalizing emotions, so it's exploration of the communication tools, like your voice, your facial expressions, your body, but this one focuses on vocalizing emotions. When using a teacher-centered approach, it will be an example of, explaining the activity, as well as reading the learning material from the textbooks or the slideshow presentation. The teacher provides instructions. And then, of course, I will take control of lessons in between activities, also to just make sure that everyone is still on the right track and every student understands what we are talking about, and also to provide extra attention to those that need it. Now, where the social pedagogical concept comes from in this lesson is from social, the aims to provide nurturing conditions that support children's growth in both directions, towards independence, like we mentioned earlier, teacher-centered. It will have a child be more independent, and interdependence. Students need two things from their teacher: roots and wings. A simple way of just saying, I put the basis there and give the activity, and it is what they make of it. Now, just quickly, the characteristic of a student-centered approach, just to quickly touch on that. This is when, group work and group presentations and open discussions in a class is very welcomed. This is my method of teaching. I enjoy it. I enjoy learning from the students as well and hearing their view on different matters. Um, engaging children or the students, teaching problem solving skills, getting students to think about thinking, allowing students to have control, and encouraging collaboration. And then why? Why is it important to use student-centered methods through teaching? It fosters better memorization. It is a learning method that is very, how can I say, very successful with most students. If they have to talk about it with their classmates in maybe a group work, group session, group discussion, open discussion in classroom, they get engaged, they think about something, and then they memorize the class, instead of a teacher just, giving them information and they need to listen, they're not engaging. It trains problem solving skills, think about this, think about that. What is the pros? What is the cons? What is the consequences? And then, as we just mentioned, cooperation and teamwork, and it adjusts to the individual learning goals. Like we said earlier, it is also a learning method, and many students get great advantage from this method. Now we will look at incorporating a student-centered approach to the CAPS-based lesson. Again, this is the same lesson, the dramatic arts, vocalizing emotions. This I will, incorporate into the lessons by letting students explore different meanings to emotions by themselves. There's activity that they will do, that they will have, like the whole class will be engaged, and students will have to openly discuss, they will have open discussions throughout the lesson exercise, and then all students will participate and are therefore included. So no student will be left behind. Now, the social pedagogical concept behind this is it's the holistic approach to education in the broadest sense, the centrality of relationships, and the use of observation and reflection as a tool for continuous development of all that are included in the pedagogical process. Simply put, by listening to your classmates and discussing things and, listening to what someone else has to say, it continuously make you think. We were talking about, think about thinking. So hearing someone else's opinion will make you think about yours, and so on and so forth. Now, the yearbook activities, let's look at the teacher-centered one. Explaining the consequences and rewards of sharing your information with the class and or members of the society. So I have to explain that to them, and that consent must be given. So that is the teacher's, responsibility to inform the child, and this is not something that a child will know by its own, and it is the teacher's responsibility to explain this. And the way the student-centered approach will be incorporated is by identifying their future goals. A teacher cannot do that for them. That is something they know and they have to figure out. The obstacles that they will have to face, and also how to go to work on overcoming those obstacles. These are the resources that I used. Can go through all of them. The slide images, that were used are also referenced. And yeah, just a very quick thank you for joining me. Have a great day.